For nearly 4 years, the press and anti-monarchy critics have spun narratives and conjured assumptions about Prince William's private wealth from the Duchy of Cornwall and his personal tax obligations, each claim more dubious than the last. Yet the revelation that has now come to light silences all that noise. The Prince of Wales stands as one of Britain's foremost taxpayers, voluntarily paying an astounding £7 million in annual income tax on his £20 million yearly income from the duchy. One might notice the deafening quiet that has suddenly descended upon those very voices that so confidently trafficked in falsehoods, their accusations born from nothing more than bitterness and envy. This pattern repeats itself with remarkable consistency. The detractors launch their loudest accusations, yet time and again the truth emerges to vindicate him completely. His integrity remains unchallenged precisely because he conducts himself with quiet dignity, allowing his actions rather than his words to define his character. No matter how relentlessly critics attempt to undermine his reputation through slanderous claims about his marriage, his family, his charitable endeavours, or his royal responsibilities, he continues to top every popularity measure, his standing entirely untainted. This is the hallmark of a man of genuine principle, one who does what is right, not for applause or vindication, but simply because it is the right thing to do, and he does it calmly, steadily, in his own corner, while the noise of his detractors eventually fades into irrelevance. The unravelling of misinformation, when truth silences speculation. For years, the press had been rife with speculation about Prince William's undisclosed wealth, with journalists and commentators endlessly theorising about the extent of his duchy income and financial dealings. Anti-monarchists seized upon this fog of uncertainty, making sweeping and unfounded claims about hidden fortunes and untaxed revenues, constructing elaborate narratives entirely divorced from verifiable fact. The public, fed a steady diet of assumption and conjecture rather than concrete evidence, began to accept these claims as gospel truth, a testament to how powerfully repeated falsehoods can calcify into perceived reality. Yet all along, the actual figures told a starkly different story, one of substantial voluntary tax contributions and financial transparency that stood in stark contrast to the mythology that had been so carefully and maliciously constructed. When the truth finally emerged, revealing the Prince of Wales as one of Britain's most conscientious taxpayers, it became abundantly clear that the years of speculation and accusation had been built on nothing more than bitterness, jealousy, and a willful refusal to acknowledge inconvenient facts. Prince William's financial integrity. The truth emerges. After years of speculation and unfounded accusations from critics and anti-monarchy voices spreading misinformation about Prince William's personal wealth derived from the Duchy of Cornwall, the facts have finally come to light, and they tell an entirely different story. The Prince of Wales stands as one of Britain's top taxpayers, voluntarily paying an impressive £7 million in annual income tax on his approximately £20 million yearly income from the duchy, a figure that official confirmation has now established beyond dispute. This revelation exposes the hollowness of the baseless narratives that have circulated, born from nothing more than bitterness and envy. while simultaneously illuminating a man of genuine principle who conducts his financial affairs with remarkable responsibility and transparency. The silence from those who spent years manufacturing false narratives is deafening yet hardly surprising, for when truth emerges it inevitably vindicates character, and Prince William's conduct speaks volumes about the integrity that defines him, quieter than any defence but far more powerful than any rebuttal could ever be. And now, where are they? The media outlets that spent years amplifying these fabrications about Prince William's finances, spinning narratives out of thin air, constructing elaborate theories about hidden wealth and undisclosed income, have gone remarkably quiet. The same accusers who filled column inches with their certainty, who pontificated endlessly about tax evasion and financial impropriety, have offered nothing. No acknowledgement, no correction of the record, no apologies for the false reporting that poisoned public discourse with their venomous assumptions. It's almost deafening, this absence of accountability from those who were so vociferous in their condemnation. They built their cases on conjecture and malice, and when the truth emerged, when it became undeniably clear that the Prince of Wales voluntarily pays £7 million in income tax annually on his £20 million yearly income, standing as one of Britain's top taxpayers, suddenly the noise stopped. The crickets chirped where the accusations once roared. These critics who professed such righteous certainty about his wrongdoing simply vanished into the shadows, leaving behind only the embarrassing wreckage of their baseless claims and the bitter taste of their own exposed jealousy. The vindication pattern. Truth always prevails. Consider, if you will, the familiar rhythm that has defined Prince William's public life. Accusations arise with great fanfare, spreading rapidly through media channels and social platforms, only for time to inevitably reveal their baselessness. For 4 years, relentless claims about his duchy wealth and tax obligations swirled about, but they dissolved the moment official figures surfaced, exposing the £7 million voluntary tax contribution on his £20 million annual income. A reality that rendered months of allegations nothing but hollow noise. This pattern repeats with striking consistency, serving as a historical testament to how William emerges unscathed from each manufactured controversy. Whether the lies concern his finances, his marriage, his charitable endeavours, or his royal responsibilities, the outcome remains unchanged. The truth materialises. The accusers fade into embarrassed silence, and he continues ascending in public approval ratings, his integrity intact and untarnished. This is no accident, but rather the natural consequence of how time operates. It quietly exonerates those who conduct themselves with genuine principle, those who work diligently in their corner without fanfare or self-promotion, allowing facts and deeds to speak louder than any fabricated narrative ever could. The pattern is clear, unmistakable, and unyielding. Slander may rise temporarily, but vindication always follows. The quiet vindication of character. True integrity never announces itself from the rooftops, And honestly, this is precisely what separates those of genuine character from those merely performing for applause. Prince William's approach to his duties and responsibilities exemplifies this principle. He conducts himself with a principled consistency that requires no defence, no public declarations, no desperate need to convince anyone of his worth. While critics spent years manufacturing accusations about his finances, levelling charges born of jealousy rather than fact, he simply continued doing what he does best. The work itself carried out with quiet dignity in his corner. When the truth emerged, revealing that he voluntarily pays £7 million in income tax annually on his £20 million yearly income, it didn't come with fanfare or vindication tours. Instead, it stood as silent testimony to what those of real character already knew. Actions speak volumes that words never could. The loudest lies eventually fade to crickets, while consistent principled behaviour remains unblemished, untainted by the noise. This is why no amount of slanderous invention about the man, his marriage, his family, or his royal duties can touch what he has built through steady, quiet integrity. Time itself becomes the ultimate validator, revealing again and again that when a person of substance simply does the right thing, without needing recognition, without demanding vindication, the truth has a way of emerging all on its own. The relentless cycle of fabrication and falsehood that has surrounded Prince William for years has ultimately crumbled under the weight of verifiable truth, leaving his detractors in stunned silence. Despite 4 years of baseless accusations regarding his duchy income and tax obligations, the revelation that he voluntarily contributes £7 million annually in income tax from his £20 million yearly earnings has decisively vindicated him, exposing the bitter jealousy that fueled such vicious lies. This moment of reckoning demonstrates a profound reality. Those who manufacture false narratives about this man's wealth, integrity and character have consistently found themselves on the wrong side of history. His sustained dominance across every popularity poll stands as irrefutable testimony to the public's unwavering confidence in him, a trust that remains utterly untainted by the incessant slanderous claims levelled against his marriage, his family, and his royal duties. Time and again, when critics unleash their loudest accusations, the truth emerges quietly and with dignity, revealing Prince William methodically fulfilling his responsibilities with the quiet integrity that defines men of true character. A pattern so consistent it speaks volumes about both his steadfast commitment to doing what is right and the hollow nature of those who seek to tear him down through deception and malice. When transparency finally breaks through the noise, speculation crumbles into dust. For years, the detractors spun their narratives, inventing falsehoods about Prince William's finances with the confidence of those convinced they possessed secret knowledge. Yet the moment factual disclosure came to light, revealing his voluntary £7 million annual tax contribution on a £20 million yearly income, the entire apparatus of rumours collapsed under the weight of inconvenient fact. This is the remarkable power of honesty. It serves as the strongest possible defence against those who traffic in conjecture and malice. No elaborate scheme of lies can withstand the simple revelation of what actually is. Transparency doesn't merely answer critics, it neutralizes them entirely, rendering their accusations hollow and their voices irrelevant. The truth, when finally released, doesn't need to shout or defend itself aggressively. It simply stands, undeniable and permanent, while the manufactured allegations fade into the background like forgotten noise. And so integrity, when paired with truthfulness, proves itself the most formidable shield any person can possess against the ceaseless tide of slander and speculation. The silence that follows a debunked claim speaks volumes about the importance of verification before amplification. Yet this fundamental principle remains painfully neglected in contemporary discourse. When narratives about Prince William's finances circulated for years without substantiation, they demonstrated how bias-driven misinformation can flourish unchecked, spreading toxicity through networks fueled by jealousy rather than facts. The danger lies not merely in the initial falsehood, but in its corrosive effect on public trust and the reputations of those targeted by coordinated campaigns of slander. This underscores why accountability must become a cornerstone of our shared conversation. Those who manufacture lies should face consequences, just as those who amplify unverified claims bear responsibility for their propagation. When the truth finally emerges, as it inevitably does, revealing that Prince William voluntarily pays $7 million in income tax annually, it exposes the hollow nature of the accusations and demands that we collectively reckon with our role in enabling such deception. The lesson is clear. Integrity cannot be permanently tarnished by fabrication, but our credibility as a society can be, unless we commit to demanding proof before platform, to questioning our own biases, and to holding both spreaders and sources of misinformation accountable for the damage they inflict on public discourse. Moving forward, Prince William remains wholly focused on advancing the royal duties and meaningful projects that define his public service, from his work on homelessness to environmental conservation, refusing to allow the noise of detractors to distract from what truly matters. With the truth now laid bare for all to see, he can dismiss with confidence any future baseless accusations that emerge from those motivated by jealousy rather than genuine concern, knowing that time has repeatedly vindicated his integrity and character. His unwavering commitment to principled public service stands as a testament to a man of quiet conviction who continues to do the right thing, not for applause or vindication, but because it is simply who he is, a royal who leads with integrity, serves with humility, and lets his actions speak louder than any rebuttal ever could. The record speaks for itself. A man of honour, a devoted family man, and a public servant dedicated to making a meaningful difference, regardless of what the critics may invent next.